You want some fun insights on how to build a $50 million a year empire? Yeah, you're in for a treat to hear from the man, the myth, the legend, AC Lockyer of SoftWash Systems. He's got several businesses. I'm so excited for you to hear from my friend AC. Welcome to Market Mavericks. I'm Matthew Eford. Join me as I speak with leaders who are redefining industries in every corner of the market. From startups to established businesses, we'll uncover the strategies, challenges, and insights that drive success. Get ready to be inspired by the Mavericks who are shaping the future of business. Welcome, everybody, to Market Mavericks. I'm your host, Matthew Eford, and I have the man, the myth, the legend, AC Lockyer, Mr. Softwash himself, with us today. And AC, I'm so excited to have you, brother. We met at a conference a few weeks ago now when we're recording this, and it just made a connection as men of faith, as business leaders, and I love the way that you're leading within your organization. So talk to me, AC. You've been through many different business ventures, but let's take it back to the SoftWash, because that's what if you ask Siri, for those who may not know, if you ask Siri who invented the SoftWash system of the pressure washing industry, it'll say AC Lockyer. So at least Siri thinks you're famous, which is really cool. So take us back to that start and kind of introduce yourself through that. Where was AC Lockyer back when that started? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, so I do like to point out right away that I am a child of privilege. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I haven't had to work for anything in my life. Everything's been handed to me.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? No, but listen, the truth is I am a third generation service business entrepreneur. My daddy was in service businesses. My grandfather was in service businesses. And so I wanted to honestly be a lead singer in a heavy metal rock and roll band, and that didn't work out. Okay. I have this genetic predisposition to doing business. And so I do want to say that some of the things we'll cover today, anyone can do if you apply yourself, if you work hard. But I do want to acknowledge that because of my father and my upbringing and my heritage and everything, I was built to be an entrepreneur and start businesses and sell businesses, and that's what we've done.
Yeah.
And so not everybody has that kind of opportunity. However, if you're listening, at least here in the United States, and we are global, where SoftWash Systems is in 8 countries now, 2 territories, the Azores and Guam.
Nice. Yeah,
and
cool.
So we're growing pretty big. So I do get to travel the world quite a bit. I'm actually leaving Sunday for the United Kingdom, and then going to be seeing some of our business interests over in Europe. So I've been in different countries, but here in the United States, I got to tell you, even if you're a numbnut, you can go out and get some leadership training, get some education, get some coaching, go buy a $400 pressure washer at Sam's like I did 43 years ago. My daddy bought it for me. That's part of my childhood privilege. He bought me a $1,000 Mitsubishi pickup. Nice. And a $400 pressure washer, and that was the seeds of greatness. But we're in the country where a $1,000 Mitsubishi pickup truck and a $400 pressure washer can turn into a nearly $50 million a year enterprise.
I love that.
Yeah.
What an amazing opportunity. So obviously, AC, you don't go from that to this overnight, right? This takes many different iterations, and I want to talk through some of those. So you're scaling that first business. At what point did you exit that first little pressure washing business?
So that first little pressure washing business was called Allstate Home Appearance Services. So I was at Abilene Christian University, and I got kicked out of college, stayed there because my fiance, Karen, was there, and started another little business. Well, the economy in 1990 really crashed back then.
Okay.
And so my 2 biggest clients were Montgomery Ward's and McDuff's Appliances. and both of them closed in Abilene. And
Wow.
so my phone just dried up.
Yeah, sure.
And so I moved back home, and while driving back home, I said to my dad, I called, back then we didn't have cell phones like we do now. So I had to stop at a payphone and tell my parents, hey, I'm in Louisiana. Dad, coming back home to Florida and all, what's a good business idea? I need to, want to marry Karen, want to start a business, want to support her. What's a good business idea? He said, the family painter just jumped up on the roof while he was pressure washing the house to get it ready for painting. He pressure washed off the roof, made it look wonderful. Now, we all know pressure washing is not good, but that's what Ray did to my dad's roof. And my dad went, seems like that would be a pretty killer business, because all the roofs around us down here in Florida were starting to get dirty.
Sure.
And so that's what started it. I came home. I called it Allstate Home Appearance Services, kind of leaning on the Sears Allstate name. But within 6 months, I was renaming it Mallard Systems. And that's really because I like ducks. Ducks are kind of my Indian spirit animal. And
I love that.
So, yeah, if you look at all my logos over the years, up till a transition I went through about 2010, all of my logos had a duck hidden in them somewhere.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Yes, you had to really look for them. It's like looking for the mouse ears out at Disney. And so that little business, one truck business, did 83,000 its first year, 86,000 its second year, third year, about 300,000, and by year 8, it was doing $4.8 million a year.
Wow.
And so that was the big one. And so exiting. You want me to be honest with you?
Please. Yeah.
I have never exited a company well.
I appreciate your transparency there, because so many business owners that are listening to this, that they've either been through an exit and they're saying, amen, AC, preach, or they're younger like myself and they're saying, okay, I hear that. Now give me caution, because I have exit strategies for my businesses, but okay, you've been there. Give us the details, give us the down and dirty, like what went on that you can talk about. But mainly, what did you learn? How did you get better as you continue to scale and exit other businesses?
So the first business, Mallard Systems, about 5 years in on the business, I was starting to get real busy. And I was, 26 years old.
Okay.
And I'm getting big jobs. And I'm still kind of a one-man, one-truck show with a helper and everything else, and just stuck in the owner-operator rut.
Yeah.
So my dad had just got done selling one of his businesses and found himself kind of available. And so I talked him into coming into the business with me, which was wonderful, because I was working with my dad, and he was really smart. He's a second-generation service business entrepreneur, and he had always exited well from his businesses. And so he would build something up 3 to 5 years and sell it, and build something up 3 to 5 years and sell it, and just chuck money away in the bank and chuck money away in the bank, and do really, really well at it. And so I said, hey, Dad, you're in between businesses, and I want you to come in and help me with mine. And he did. And that's when we really started growing Mallard Systems. And, it was, both of us were just, iron sharpens iron, and he had his strengths and talents, and I had my strengths and talents. And what ended up happening was sometime around 2003, it got to the point where two bulls could no longer occupy the same hill.
Okay.
And we started grinding, and I'm now in my early 30s. He's pushing 50, 53, because he's 23 years older than me. And we had a really, really, really bad family business breakup, and we split Mallard System into two companies. And so he took the residential customers and kept it Mallard Systems, and I took the commercial customers and renamed it TerraClean.
Okay.
And that's what I was telling you before the call. I had that great company. It was TerraClean. It was $1.5 million a year. I took home $250,000 package between salary and car payments and,
sure,
all the little health insurance and everything else.
Yeah, sure.
And I fished 200 days a year, and it was beautiful and wonderful. It was just
sounds magical.
and it was magical. It wasn't too big to manage. I had a guy that ran it all for me. I paid him really, really well. I bought him a beautiful dually quad cab, F350 truck, and I just spoiled the guy rotten, and everything was going great. But my dad had sold the residential side of Mallard Systems. He had gotten into real estate speculation. And we all know what happened to the real estate market in 2008, 2009. And so my dad was just sucking wind. And so we started talking to each other again, and he said, son, we're older now, we're wiser. My mom, he and my mom were literally 90 days away from broke. They had about 90 days worth of money left. And it was just awful. He said, hey, how about we just, go back into it. You're really, really busy. You got a tiger by the tail. Things are going well. How about I come in and help you with the business? And I went, great, Dad, that'd be awesome. And and it went bad inside of like 4 months. And literally my sweet little 200-day a year fishing and salary and business and everything else, bringing Dad in and everything, it just blew up again. And there's some unmentionables, and my dad and I literally after that we didn't speak for 7 years. We speak now, and everything's fine, and it's all water under the bridge. And it actually, when you look back at it, it changed me and it shifted me and it put me in a better place. And it's one of those things that when you're in the middle of the storm, you're like, oh man, this sucks. I don't like this. My life is ending. And now you look back at it 20 years later, you go, man, that was awesome. It sucked.
Yeah.
It was
But look at all the things that I learned.
Catalyst, it was that storm that just, put me on the direction I am today. And so that business, I never got a chance to sell, and I exited poorly.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, completely broke 2010, walking away from that business, literally with $250 in my pocket after I settled my debts and everything and signed it over to my dad. And it was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I did what every other unemployed person that thinks highly of themselves does. I went into coaching. Because I didn't want to have a business. I didn't want to have employees. I didn't want to do anything. People were paying me big money to come in and screw around with their business for a week and tell them what they needed to do with their lives.
Sure.
And it was wonderful. But then I had almost everybody I coached said, AC, I want a business just like Mallard Systems. I want to get into soft washing. I want to do what you did. I want to have all your business systems. So after a while, we launched SoftWash Systems. At first, the chemicals, second, the equipment, third, some of the resources and business systems and everything. Then after a while, it became a in-network company kind of thing, which became a licensed affiliate thing a few years ago. And now here we are, we find ourselves. And so there's a movement out there called automate, grow, sell. You automate your business, you grow it, and then you sell it. You flip it. It's like biz flipping. I'm the kind of the automate, grow, keep guy. So out of SoftWash Systems, we started actually building our own equipment. That got up to about $1 million a year. Spun that off and started disruptor manufacturing. And then after years of putting people in the business, we did relaunch one branch of SoftWash Systems that's company owned. So we have a beautiful branch we can take people into and tour.
Yeah. Like a corporate office. Yeah.
Like a corporate office. Yeah. And then we just launched, you can kind of see it up on the wall back here, the Wash Life store. I'm in the classroom right now. We have a 500 square foot classroom space for the Wash Life store. And we launched the Wash Life store a few months back ago. This spring is our first spring. And it's starting to do really well. It's over $1 million company already.
Yeah.
And so I've got all these businesses, and if you tie all of our licensed affiliates together that have signed license agreements, so they're kind of like franchises, and you add all of them up, we got about $50 million worth of business going. And so life is really, really good right now, and we'll see if I exit well or I don't exit well in the future.
Oh, it's so
My
good.
son's in the biz now, and they've had a baby, so now we have four Alfreds alive. We have my dad, we have myself, we have my son, and then we have little Alfie, who's Alfred Rowan. And yeah, so I don't know. Keep it, sell it. What do I do with it? I've got a son now. I've got a grandbaby. I'm probably just going to retire the end of this decade and just let them all take it over.
I love
Who
it. Go
knows?
go back to fishing a little more.
Go back to fishing a little more, yeah. But exiting, ooh, that's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Knowing when the time is to put something up for sale and move on, that's tough for me because honestly, I fall in love with everything I build, and it's like an
Yeah.
extension of me,
Yeah. It gets to be your
and
baby.
it's my baby. And
Yeah.
I, it's so hard to do. I'm not saying I'll never do it. 5 years ago, I was like, I'll never do it. Now that I'm 55 and I got a grandbaby, I'm kind of
Sure.
looking forward to retirement, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Well,
love that.
it's what the Lord leads you to. So
I love that, and I love that perspective. Right? It's this idea that with the hands the cards that I have dealt in my hand right now, I'm gonna be a good steward of it right now.
right
Three
now,
years from now, 5 years from now, I don't know, but I can be moving in the direction of continuing to automate systems, continue to put
right.
additional people in place. So obviously, AC, you don't build this without structure. You don't build this
Mhm.
without people. You go way beyond just a solopreneur perspective. Okay, so let's talk specifically to that person. We have a lot of those that listen to this. They're in that. Okay, call them maybe a small business owner. Maybe they have a helper,
Right.
but they're have dreams of scaling, but they're struggling. Talk to us about that person going from kind of one yourself or maybe one employee to actually building out a team. Think back over your businesses. What advice would you have for those folks?
Well, you call them solopreneurs. I call them entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And you've probably heard that phrase before, a
Yeah.
entrepreneur. And sometimes it's a negative phrase because, oh, they're just a entrepreneur. They're not an entrepreneur. No, a entrepreneur is how you become an entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
you're a entrepreneur. None of us ever get into business and go, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Amen to that.
It's kind of like I hear people saying, well, we'll start having babies when we can afford them. And I look at them and I go, oh, really? Yeah,
Really.
we're not quite ready to have babies. Okay, well, let me from a guy that's had babies. Well, I haven't. My wife had babies. I paid for them, but I got to have fun making the babies.
There you
But
go.
yeah, there I go. Number one, you'll never be ready to have a baby. Number two, you'll never be able to afford them.
Amen.
Period. Period. They drive from that point. You take those little symbionts and they get born into the earth. From that point, they drive every decision you make until you release them out on their own. And so every buying decision you make, every budget that you plan, everything revolves around those little symbionts. Your business is that way too. If you say, well, I'm going to start a business when I'm ready, or I'm going to quit my day job when I'm ready, or, I'm going to do this part time, and man, you just got to cut the umbilical cord and do it. You've got to move from entrepreneur to entrepreneur really, really quick. And the
Love that.
skill set to do that is it's not what you think it is for sure.
Okay. So what advice would you have in terms of the skills?
So you really have to be ready to work 80 hours a week. If you read my book, The 5 Keys to Pattern Success, I think it's about chapter 27. I go on a rant about digital automation.
Okay. It is
I
on
mean,
my
it's like
list.
all
It's
of
on
a
my
sudden,
shelf right over my shoulder, right actually right
yeah,
there for those that are
it's the
watching.
5 keys to pattern success, blah, 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 blah. Chapter 27. AC hates digital automation. Right there. And it's not that I really hate it. What I don't, because I really like digital automation. I do quite a bit of it myself. And we do some really, really cool things with set it and forget it kind of marketing and
Sure.
and different cool things you can do. I stain our culture where people start businesses and buy CRMs and softwares and apps and everything and sit in their houses on their computers all day going, well, I'll go out and do my business and sell something, but I got to set up all my follow-up sequences and my drip campaigns, and I got to get my CRM put together, and I got to do all this work on my computer. And I'm like, would you go out and meet some people, shake some hands, kiss some babies, go to some networking meetings, actually go out and walk outside of your house and, like take your PJs off at 6 o'clock in the morning, go get a shower and do something today?
Yeah.
Because that's the number one thing. You're not going to be able to do business from your home and be successful. All business is relationships.
Yeah. You can say that again.
All business is relationships. You will get in life where you're going to go based on a very few factors. And the number one factor is, who are the people that are in your life, that are your relationships, and are you stewarding those relationships well?
Yeah, I love that. So let me give an example from our perspective. Right, sure. When we got into doing outdoor, so lighting pros, we have 5 locations now. We're franchised. We're bringing on 10 in the next 12 months. We're super excited about. And when we started in this journey of outdoor lighting, specifically in the Christmas lights, let me talk about that one customer. We got in with one Chick-fil-A customer here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And it was meeting them, the right person at the right time, showing up, doing the work, knowing what to say, having actually installed the lights, not just working from my house, having all the systems in place. I had a lot of the systems that were not in place, right? But I was out actively doing the work. That one turned into 36 locations. So we work with 36 operators here in their locations across the Georgia area that we work with the corporate office. And it just is like, okay, but the old adage, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? That there's so much of the nuance, especially, I know both of us are going on a little bit of a rant here, but this idea of like influencers, coaches, whatever it is, of you can be successful and just, you got to create the right system and you can do all this from the house. It's like, that's just not true. When we were building our business, my brother and I were working 100 hours a week, unapologetically working 100 hours a week. And it's like, this is what we needed to do. Do I work 100 hours a week in this business? No, I don't anymore. But I've built the team, right? But we got to the level that we did because we were willing to put the work in. And I think so often people miss the adage that opportunity shows up in overalls and looks like hard work.
That's right.
Right? And I love that you're saying that. Okay, so let's get off our soapbox here. Let's talk back to this idea of, you mentioned like culture, building a team. Okay, so you've built multiple teams now. You've spun off multiple businesses now. You're supporting places across 8 countries, which is fantastic.
Hundreds of people. Yeah.
Hundreds of people. Okay, so when you look across either your team specifically, or let's talk about your affiliates maybe, when you look to them and you say, the ones that the cream rises to the top, what are some things that you see within their organization that would be great insights into our businesses?
So when we're actually presenting our opportunity to people, and I'm going through the slide presentation that I do, there's a slide that we have that we get to, letting people know what the qualifications that they need and how our system works and all that. It's one slide and it just brings up 2 words up on the screen: coachable and moldable.
I love that.
And so we pause at that point, and I look at everybody in the room that's come to one of our open houses, and I say, guys, if you're going to join on here at SoftWash Systems, you have to be coachable and moldable, which means you have to be humble.
Yeah.
And so if you're starting a business, you really need to figure out very, very, very fast that you don't know the things that you think that you know, and you are not all that.
Amen.
You need to get humble really fast and get coachable and moldable, because the number one, well, let me say this. Everybody in life gets paid attributed directly to how many people they can manage.
Okay.
Lead.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody does. Everybody does. And so if you can only manage or lead 5 people, you can only have a 5-person organization. Your revenues can only be as much as those 5 people can generate for you. 20 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. But your ability to lead starts with one person.
Yeah.
And do you know who that person is?
Yeah. It's you.
It's you. So you have to learn how to lead yourself and develop yourself and understand that your business is never going to outgrow you.
Peter Drucker, the bottlenecks are always at the top.
Yeah, the bottleneck's always at the top. Okay. And so I watch so many times of people starting businesses that they either think they know it all, or they go out there and they do research and they think they've figured it out, or they listen to other people like them. One of the worst pitfalls you could ever get into is listen to voices that sound like yours.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
But AC, those are the comfortable ones. Those are the ones that we like to hear.
Well, if you're going to own a business and be successful, you only grow when you're uncomfortable.
Amen.
So you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so when you listen to, I watch a lot of the industries out there, and I'm going to pick on you for a moment.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I hate Christmas lights.
That's okay.
Okay. Not Christmas lights I put on my house, not necessarily the Christmas light business, but it's kind of like digital automation. I have a disdain for people who go out there and I'm going to start a pressure washing business. Well, I'm not being successful at that, so I'm going to start paver sealing. Yeah. Well, I'm not doing great at that either, so I'm doing some pressure washing and paver sealing, but I'm going to go out and start soft washing now because I heard that's like the key. Well, I'm doing pressure washing, paver sealing, and soft washing now, so I'm going to go do wood and deck restoration. Well, I'm doing pressure washing, I'm doing soft washing, I'm doing paver sealing, I'm doing wood and deck restoration. Hey, there's this new thing out there. It's called Christmas lights. So I'm going to get into Christmas lights now. And then they don't realize the busiest months in the entire year for the exterior cleaning industry is September 15th through December 15th. Especially October and November. October and November are the 2 busiest months of the entire exterior cleaning industry. You will do as much as 50% of all of your revenues those 2 months.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
But now you've taken on Christmas lights. But AC, you don't understand. I did $250,000 in Christmas lights those 2 months. And like, great, what's your overhead on those lights? Oh, but they're going to call me back. And I know the whole model. I've talked to 1 million people. I'm like, if you love lighting that much, sell your pressure washer, get rid of your soft wash machine, get rid of that deck sealing stuff. Don't do pavers anymore and become a lighting freak and just do lighting.
Amen. I cannot stand chucking a truck, right? It is, you cannot be all things to all people. That you have a specialty, and that's what you can provide the most value is when you're specialized. That's when somebody's going to pay you the most. You're going to be the most profitable when you can specialize in something that hopefully you're passionate about, that hopefully you're good at, and that you can get better at. That's what you need to do.
That's right.
I love that.
Right.
I love that.
And so many people, when they're starting out their businesses, they fall prey to, well, things are tough. The market must not be good enough, or there's a lot of competition, and also I'll do this, or I'll do this, or I jumped on a Facebook group, or I heard a podcast, or I was at a convention, and boy, I heard a lot of great numbers about this, so I'm going to get into this. Man, pick your thing and specialize.
Yeah.
The toe doctor makes 10 times more than the general practitioner.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's just, I just watch people just crash and burn new businesses in 3 years because they didn't stay focused or humble.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic piece of advice. And I appreciate you clarifying that. And I appreciate you sharing that. And we see that a lot in the lighting business. because we've been doing this for a while now, and there people will pop up, they undercut prices, they gain some market share, and then they're gone in a couple of years, and then we gain that market share back or whatever it is. People are calling us because they've left town. There's all sorts of issues that come up. But AC, something that you mentioned, and I love this idea of, this perspective of I'm not the smartest person in the room, right? That goes for hiring, that goes for mentorship, that goes for leveraging other people's experience. That's part of the reason I do this podcast, right? Is to have conversations like folks with you that have been going down the road further than I have. You've been doing this longer than I have. You have additional experiences that I don't have yet. And so it's great to be able to leverage that. So think back over your entrepreneurial journey and share some advice for somebody who's maybe a little hesitant to bring on mentorship. Maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a peer group. How have you leveraged that for success in the expansive growth that you've had for AC? How has AC leveraged that?
Well, you made a comment earlier about not being the smartest guy in the room. Okay. Are you familiar with a guy named Paul in the Bible?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Paul was the Jew of Jews. Okay. He was a Pharisee. He was a member of the Sanhedrin. He knew the Bible forwards and backwards. As far as being blameless according to the law, he followed the law to the T. Yeah. If he sinned, he did the right sacrifice. He did everything he could possibly do to stand completely blameless and pure. He was named Saul then, and then God changed his name to Paul because he really had a bad reputation after he tried to go out and kill Christians. Doesn't go well. But anyhow, he had a resume above all other resumes, and he was a smart guy. When he talks about his resume, you're like, man. So what happened? Well, God put a thorn in his side.
Yeah.
And he said to God, God, take this thorn away from me. And God said, nope, I put it there to keep you humble.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he was the smartest guy in the room. And when you read my book, you'll read in the book that I was diagnosed very, very early with attention deficit disorder. And when I was a kid, literally like 7, 8 years old, down at Barry University down in Miami, Florida. But they also IQ tested me. And I have a 158 IQ, and Einstein's IQ was 159.
Wow.
And so I grew up in a situation where, I'm a pretty bright guy. I can't spell worth a ding. I don't do money. Okay. But as far as creativity in businesses and being quick on my feet, there's a lot of things I'm really, 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 really good at. The older you get, the more humble you get. The older you get, you realize, all that crap doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean nothing. So you start to look around and you start to go, I got a lot going for me, but my personal well, if I keep drawing from myself, I keep rehashing the same crap over and over and over again. I mean, I'm a bright guy and everything else, but you're like, the well's going dry.
Yeah.
You talked about coaching. So you start looking around, you start going, who do I go to? Do I go to the gurus on Facebook and the message boards and everything else? No. Who do I go to? Well, I look for the people that are doing things in life that I want to do, that are way out ahead of me, that I can talk to and have a valuable conversation with. And those are called mentors. People need to understand coaches and mentors are not the same thing. Mentors are the people that are suggestive. You can go hang out with and you can ask them questions and they'll say, well, you should try this. And well, you should try that. And well, if I did this or that, this is how I would do it. That's a mentor. A coach is get your lazy ass out of bed, put on your shoes. I asked you to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't. You did PDQ. I need X, Y, and Z done. Come on. We're trying to win a championship. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Accountability. I'm in your face. I'm going to make you do it. And there's a word that a lot of people are not comfortable with, and they need to get comfortable with it. It's called submission.
Tell me more.
So submission is when you put people in your life to be that thorn in your side or be that coach, that you submit to them. And when they tell you to slow down, you slow down. When they tell you to speed up, you speed up. When they say it's a bad idea, you second guess yourself and you put on the brakes. When they say it's a good idea, you ask them, why was it a good idea? And they say, because of this, that, and the other thing. You say, well, what should I do next? And they say, that suggestively, a coach will say, these are the things that you need to do to get to this point. And you submit to what they tell you. Why? Because you could be an athlete with all of the talent in the world, but until you get a coach, you don't get to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point.
Can the coach win the gold medal? No, because they're usually has-beens. You realize most coaches are has-beens?
Yeah.
Other athletes are mentors or comrades, but coaches did it long ago in the past, are on the other side of their career now, and they're giving you wisdom because they know where all the potholes are, where all the ravines are, where all the crevices are that you're going to trip on, hurt yourself, or fall to your death. And they keep you from going there. And for you to be successful in your life, you've got to find those people, those coaches that sometimes you pay a lot of money to. Why? Because they can't do it themselves anymore. They're not athletes anymore. They're not going to go out there and put the wins on the scoreboard themselves. You pay them an honorarium. What's an honorarium? It's you honor them with your money to be your coach because they've been there, done that, and they can be hard on you because they don't have a filter anymore. Okay, they're not worried about whether you like them or not.
Sure, they're not trying to impress you.
Yeah.
I love that. What a fantastic piece of advice, and I'm glad that we're kind of wrapping up the conversation around that idea. And I appreciate the way you've modeled that yourself. So, AC, as you kind of look back over your career as a granddad now, if you could go back, the question I kind of always love to end on in this perspective is, if you go back to AC at 45, so 10 years ago, AC, what's a piece of advice that you share with him?
So 45-year-old AC, I probably would have said, slow down, take a deep breath. You don't have to move as quickly as you think you have to.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Go at the pace of your team and don't wear them out.
I love that. What a fantastic way for us to end. Well, brother, thank you for sharing. Thank you for your connection and your friendship. And so you've mentioned your book a couple of times. Just real quickly, if you pitch your book, how does somebody get it? What's the title? Where do they find it? How do they get in touch with that?
I wish I could find it right now. I didn't bring one up with me. I apologize, but it's the 5 Keys to Pattern Success. And if you go to Amazon and search my name, AC, no periods or dashes, just AC, Lockyer, Lockyer, you'll find it. My other book is called The Wow Factor. And so you can get both of those on Amazon. And we hopefully will have a third one out by the end of this year.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll make sure and put the link to the 2 of those in there. And then if somebody's interested in the SoftWash system, obviously, please don't give out your cell phone number. But how do they get in touch with the system? Where do they find that? Where do they get more information about the SoftWash system?
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to talk to on that. I just own the company. I don't handle all that stuff anymore. I just wore my branding like a good boy today. So.
I love it. All right.
So you go to SoftWashSystems.com. That's systems with an S. SoftWashSystems.com. And it'll take you to our page that's largely a B2C page, but down towards the bottom, it has the B2B link. If you are interested in becoming a part of SoftWash Systems, you can click on that. There's other nice little cool area on there. If you scroll down the website and you see the map of the United States, there's a button underneath there that takes you to our locator map, or you can just go to softwashsystems.com/locations, and you can see our worldwide map of SoftWash Systems licensed affiliates in 8 countries and 2 territories.
I love that. And so as we wrap up, just one little tidbit about AC that most of our audience won't know. Tell about your success in 2006. I think it's 2006 with fishing, because you're a master fisherman. So just real quickly touch on what happened then.
So I told you guys about the business that I had where I was able to fish 200 days a year. Would watch this show on TV. It was called the Redfish Tour, and it was a fishing tournament series around the Southeast United States where people would fish inshore saltwater fishing for redfish, if anybody knows what a redfish is. It's the second most popular fishing tour in the United States, next to bass fishing. And so I'd watch this show every Saturday, and they'd have an ad at the end that says, hey, if you think you're good enough to fish with the pros, come on out and fish some of the IFA open tournaments where anybody could fish. And so in 2005, I fished my first 3 open tournaments and then qualified to go fish the professional tour. 2006, I joined the professional tour as a rookie. And by the end of 2006, that season, my fishing partner, she fished as a team of 2 people on the boat.
Okay.
My fishing partner, Thresher Clear, and I won the Redfish Tour National Championship our rookie season.
It's amazing. Oh, it's just what a fun tidbit to finish on. Well, thank you, AC brother. Congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on being a granddad. Y'all got a cute one, and I look forward to continuing our relationship and our friendship, and to see where the Lord takes us. So, everybody, thank you for joining us here on Market Mavericks. We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Market Mavericks. We hope you're walking away inspired and ready to take your own adventure to the next level. Don't forget to follow the show to keep up with our latest episodes. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, share it with others who could benefit. And hey, if you know a market maverick who has a story that needs to be heard, please drop their name in the comments. We would love to bring their insights to the show. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and leading with purpose.